Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tuesday Talks with Tonia. So excited that you ladies are joining me for an exciting evening talking with our special guest today. And it's Tuesday, October the 19th. So just FYI, 10 days before my birthday. So whoop. So I'm excited to get another year under my belt. Thank God for another year of life. So yeah, excited about this journey and thankful for the connections that I'm have made. And tonight is one of those connections. We're going to be speaking with Ms. Joy Daniels. She is a videographer and video editor locally here in Augusta, Georgia. She's a young lady that I had the pleasure of meeting through another friend, Ms. Juliet. And just talking with her on the phone, we talked for a good while, and just her energy and her passion for what she's doing, for her passion for her career. And as a young woman, she has some knowledge that she shared even with me. And I was like, oh, okay. So we are always learning, always growing. And that's what this platform is about: engaging, empowering, and helping other women connect with people, connect with places, connect with resources. So welcome to Tuesday Talks with Tonia. Joy.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to have the conversation.
I'm excited as well. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I love it.
Absolutely. And so Joy is an Augusta University graduate.
Yes.
And she's a young lady. So somebody's got feedback. I'm not really sure who it is, but it looks like everybody's muted except for you and I. Can you guys hear the feedback?
Yes.
Let me put on my earphones. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah, I hear it too. I just don't know where it's coming from because I'm moving around on my end. So
let me see. Let me try this. That's because it's going to be a good conversation. That's why.
Exactly.
Is that better?
I still heard it.
You still hear it? I can't figure out what that could be. Can you guys hear me okay, or am I?
It sounds good. It's like an echo.
I cannot figure out what that is. Okay, let me mute myself and try to do it again. What about now?
It's the same, but you can carry on.
Okay. So, well, I won't be talking as much. We'll be hearing from Ms. Joy, but there are some things I did want to share. So I did a little research just because I wanted to know what the numbers were. And according to Zippia, there are 29,290 videographers in the US. And the population of those that are women are 24.8%. And the population that are African American is less than 9%. And so this field is one that deals with movies. They deal with, podcasts. They deal with all kinds of stuff when you think of a videographer. And so for Joy to be a young lady in this business, which is typically a white male dominated field, and for her to continue to forge forward with her passion, I think is admirable. And I just want to talk with you a little bit, Joy, about that journey. What made you want to go into this field?
That's a great question. Thank you. Thinking about it, I've always loved entertainment, like just always used to watch TV as a kid, always watched movies, loved documentaries, just all the time watching TV. And to find out like what happens behind the scenes was really, really cool, and so I was like, hey, and also too learning about like video editors and stuff, like, because a lot of people, yes, a lot of the the big money that's made for video editors are kind of like in movies and TV shows, but like there's also freelance, videography where it's local stuff, where it's maybe a church needs a videographer, or like, working in news and stuff like that. So it's like there are plenty of jobs available doing this sort of work. So I thought it was cool, and so I just wanted to do it. It's honestly pretty simple as that. I wish I had a more like complex and deeper answer, but it's honestly like I like this since I was a kid, so like I guess it's just good. I want to do it, so
why not?
Yeah, why not?
Right, why not? What's the hardest part of your job?
I feel like the hardest part sometimes is when because you're a part of such creative process, right? And you put so much heart and soul into stuff sometimes, like you'll stay up all night to finish something, or, you put so much creative juices in stuff. And then, there are certain things that have certain meanings. You're trying to explain it to people, and then some people don't get it. And it's like, but that's a part of the job. Like, not everyone's going to get it. So you kind of have to make people understand. And sometimes you have to kind of change your own perspective on how other people are going to accept this message or something, because I may accept it a certain way, but then other people may not get it at all. So, I guess it's just adjusting my own perspective sometimes to make the message make sense to other people. But that's just a constant thing in the video editing industry of like just making sure that everybody understands what you're talking about.
And I think I can get that, because when you're a creative, you're giving the vision, you're given the vision. So everybody doesn't see what you see. And that's why one of the reasons I titled this topic, Watch This, because it's coming from your perspective, from the behind the scenes perspective. And what you see, I may not see, or what you get, I may not get, or I might miss something. But with you guys, as I am talking about Juliet, and even my sister Stacy, she has her own web series. And so you guys have this creative thing, and you know exactly what you want to see, how you want to see it, where it should be, who it should be. And for the consumer, those of us that are consuming the content, we're just like, oh yeah, that's good. Or we're like, oh, but it's so interesting how you have to make sure all of those dynamics come together to create a good product.
Right. Especially when it comes to pleasing your customers. But at the same time, too, there are things that I'm like, listen, I'm making this for me. I'm making this for me, and I don't care who gets it. Like, if you don't get it, that's your problem. I'm doing this for me. So it just depends on like who your customer is, like if it's for me, I'm doing it for me. But other people, I'm like, okay, I'll change a couple things, even though I disagree with how you're doing this, but okay, so.
That's funny. Like, this is for me, so I really don't care how y'all think.
Right.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years in this business? Do you see yourself staying local, or do you still see yourself moving away? Because what I also looked up was that most of the videographers live in either New York or LA. And so we're quite far from both, but, I know, like you said, there are still opportunities, whether you're doing podcasts, whether you're doing local television, news, documentaries, those types of things. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I still see myself in Atlanta. I'm not in Atlanta now, but I would love to go to Atlanta, because Atlanta really it's a bustling, thriving city now with a lot of different creative avenues. And I think that's amazing that we have this, like city on a hill almost in the South that we have, all this creative passion in. And especially too, I've grown up in Georgia all my life. And I have a very love-hate relationship with Georgia. It's definitely, definitely like it's LA of the South, definitely. And I love it sometimes, but I also want it to change. And it still has so many issues about it. But I would love to see the South transform into something that is available for everybody, and so I would love to transform that South for my generation, for the next generation. So I see myself still in the South, definitely.
And I like the way you put that, the LA of the South, because Atlanta does just about as much production in movies, TV shows, and people just don't even realize the amount of work from a, perspective of movies and TV series and all of that stuff. It's a bustling hub. So really, there's plenty of opportunity. I know several people that are in that space, and they prefer to stay here locally, Georgia. Now, Atlanta, y'all can have it. That traffic is horrendous. I'm just like, no, I go there only when necessary, or if I'm going through, and it doesn't matter what time. It could be 2 a.m. in the morning, and traffic is like at a standstill. I'm like, why are y'all not at home in the bed? What are you doing on the road? So,
Go home, please.
So, but the culture for artistic work in Atlanta is so far past where we are in Augusta. And so I know with you and Juliet, you guys are really working to build that culture out and make sure that, because we have talent here in Augusta, we have, plenty of talent. We have the historic pieces. We have, so much to offer somebody who would want to do films. And my prior role in the mayor's office, that was one of the things we really were hoping to try to do, was create a film office out of the mayor's office like it is in most cities, in Atlanta, in Savannah. It goes through the mayor's office, but Augusta just hadn't caught on yet for whatever reason. But maybe you guys can change that. So,
we'll tag team and get it done.
Yes, absolutely. I think between, it does take a collective of people, because it's not just going to be Joy. It's not going to be just Juliet and even me. Everybody has a part to play, making connections and making sure people know what we have here. I sell Augusta like no other, and I'm not even from Augusta. But when I tell you, everybody knows that I go hard for Augusta, just like I was born and raised here, because I really want to see it grow, and I really want to see opportunities come here. I was so devastated when they decided to tear down the jail, because a lot of people want access to jails, and there aren't many left in the country like the one that we had at 401. But everybody, like, we go back to that vision. Everybody doesn't see and understand the vision. Everybody doesn't understand the creative opportunities that we had. So we just kind of have to pivot and figure out another way to bring that industry to our cities. Who are your mentors or your supporters in this journey? Because I know it's kind of, a small field, but who are your mentors and supporters? I know one's on the line.
Right. I'm about to say, ooh, Juliet. I'm about to say, like, who am I going to say first? But yeah, definitely Juliet, who I just met like literally a month ago, because, I meet so many people through freelance and stuff like that. And I make connections with people sometimes, and sometimes those connections stick, sometimes they don't, But yeah, Juliet has been really helpful. But also too, I think Juliet was introduced, how we met each other was from a mentor of Lowry. Yes, who he's the head of Mustard. He owns Mustard Seed Productions, right? And it's crazy because my mother sings gospel, and she used to sing gospel music back in the day. She still sings gospel music now, but she was going crazy back in the day, like not in a bad way, but she was good, And Lester filmed some of her music videos, so that's how I kind of know him. And he really did take me under his wing, and he taught me so much and has introduced me to so many opportunities. So, and he's Black man, so we got the connection there too. So it's all good,
I like that, because I wouldn't be doing this podcasting thing had it not been for a Black man that came to me and said, hey, you need to be doing a podcast. Have you ever thought about this? And I was like, no. He was like, well, you should do it. I'm like, okay, if you're going to help me through it, then of course. So it does take not just women supporting each other, but the men have to support us as well, because a lot of times they're able to get things quicker than we are because they're men, especially in a male dominated field like you guys are working in. That's got to be a key, is getting the men to go first or open the door for you, so to speak. And so that's good to hear that they are pushing you and supporting you and behind you. That's awesome. Another question I had, who do you desire or look forward to working with?
Wow. Questions. I mean, honestly, like, I can't really say I have anyone in mind. Like, I mean, a lot of the people that I like stylistically, like their work as a director or a video editor, maybe are too old, probably dead, you know, like, or, you know, personally, I mean, do I want to work with them? I don't know. I don't know how they're like, you know, they could be terrible to work with, but I admire their work, you know? So there really isn't anyone in mind per se for me, like, you know.
What about from say, for instance, what about a star, you know, an actor, an actress?
Wow. Oh man. I guess I'll go off what I recently just saw. I just saw the Bond movie, the newest Bond, James Bond.
Okay.
Rami Malek. He's Mr. Robot. He was the villain in the Bond movie. He just acts so crazy. Like, have you ever just seen someone who's like, wow, you play crazy really, really good. Like, evil and crazy.
Like almost too good.
Yes, too good, because you see his eyes, and his eyes are just like looking so insane. I'm like, oh my, his acting skills are just amazing. So I'm like, I would love to work with someone like that who really embodies a character, like who really just like takes on this role, and their whole demeanor, everything changes. I love it. I just love that. So.
That's awesome. So I heard that you recently worked with Hill Harper. How was that experience with Hill Harper?
Well, I didn't really talk to him directly. I just had to, I was assistant editor to a project, and I was basically helping Lester deal with those things, but it was amazing. It was definitely life-changing to know that, wow, I'm a part of a SAG film. Like, this is now a SAG film. This has changed a lot now. Everything has changed because there are no more, definitely my rates have gone up now.
So explain to everyone what SAG is, because everybody may not know. So explain to them what SAG is.
This is the Screen Actors Guild. So it's basically a collective of different actors and directors and stuff like that who basically, I mean, Julia, you may be able to explain a little bit better. I hate to throw the question on you, but
I usually have to look it up. But it's an organization for actors and directors, and they have award shows every year. It's pretty prestigious to be in SAG film or SAG eligible or an actor.
Okay. So it's kind of like the Oscars of movies, or,
Yes.
The Emmys or something like that, but it's on the level of the behind the scenes people. Okay. That's well, and even the actors as well. But, a lot of times when you see the recognition for movies, when I think about the Oscars, you always see the actors and you see, the leading characters, but you rarely see the writers and things like that. Now, I know they do recognize them, but it's just on a different level when you go through the SAG Awards. So that's awesome. So now I want to open it up to the folks that have joined us, and I see people from some of everywhere. So welcome everyone. If this is your first time, welcome. So we have, again, Ms. Joy Daniels, and y'all, she's only 24. This is a baby. She's a baby, but she's doing some great things at a young age. And that's why I really wanted to have her on, because that's something to show our young ladies to, it doesn't matter what your age is. If you have a passion, if you have a desire, go after it. And she's doing things already, working on a SAG film. So sometimes people take years and years to get to that level. And here you are, new to the game, and you're already on it. So that means greater things are in store for you. I just know and believe it. So anybody want to ask her some questions?
That's what I want. I wanted to ask Joy. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wow.
Only thing I know too much, I know you're 24.
Yes, 24.
And if you're in town, I really would like to get in touch with you so you could talk to my mentees also.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, if you could just give us a little talk about your background.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm from Augusta, Georgia. Augusta native. Again, I'm 24. It's so hard to talk about yourself, but so basically, I graduated from Augusta University in 2019, and my first job was a student assistant for the TV and cinema lab that we had. So basically, our lab, it was basically like we just helped students out with their different film projects and stuff. So I basically had to like teach some of the students like the basics of cinematic, stuff. And I was in charge of all the cameras. And so I kind of got a little bit more hands-on experience when I was in school. And then, I graduated kind of at a weird time because I graduated in December of 2019. And then when I graduated, COVID started. So, it was kind of like it kind of slowed down some of my plans a little bit, but, I got right back on it and I started doing some freelance at a church. And I've already been doing, before I even started doing the freelance stuff, I was just doing my own projects with other film students and my friends and stuff like that. So, just always had a passion for the moving image, I guess. So, yeah, let me go back to, I also have ADHD. So there's that too. Like my brain will be all over the place. I'm trying to explain myself. But where did I leave off? Somewhere about basically.
I think you were going to go back where the pandemic happened,
yes.
But you were doing some work.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, I was doing some freelance at a church. And then I met up with Lester, and he's introduced me to a lot of other opportunities. And I call it my little girl gang because it's three girls. One of my friends, she's half Hispanic and half Black, and then my other friend, she's white. She's cool, and and we're just we're a girl gang who loves films and who loves to create things. Like, so we do stuff together all the time, do other film projects for all of our different for our resumes and for our our Squarespaces and our portfolios and stuff like that. So we just keep each other motivated and stuff like that. So
I love it, the girl gang. I love it because it's all positive, it's all good. And you need that. You need that gang of girlfriends that's going to help you, push you, motivate you, keep you accountable, all of that stuff. So I love it. I love it. We have a question in the chat box. It says, what part on the video industry do you enjoy the most, videography or editing?
I enjoy, okay, it's hard for me to say because sometimes I like it more. It just depends on the project itself, because some things I'm like, wow. Like I'm looking at, for example, I went to Japan, and that was, I did a study abroad there, and I was filming some stuff there, and that was a beautiful filming experience. Like to go through different shrines and temples and, see all the beautiful, just the scenery was so beautiful to film. But then to edit and put it together was frustrating because I was like, which shots do I use? What do I do? But, there are some times where I'm like, for example, Augusta University, they did a play, and they asked me and some of my other friends, alumni who graduated, to come back and to film a short that was going to play in this play itself. Just for a artistic kind of short, movie short that was going to play before the play started, kind of give a little bit more context to the play or whatever. And that was really fun to edit because it was set in the 1910s. So I had to add a lot of special effects to these graphics and a lot of special effects to the video. And I had to add old footage and stuff like that, and to try to make it look like it was from 1910. And that was a really, really cool experience to do. So it honestly, it just depends on the project itself for me.
I mean, it seems like it's so many moving parts. I don't know how you keep up, because that stuff would probably get on my nerves. Like, I'm the impatient one. Like, I want stuff done. I want it done now. I don't have time to be messing with it. Like, just go on and get it done. So you have to have some level of patience in order to do this type of work because of all of the details, and you have to be so on point that it takes time and it's tedious, and you have to stay on task. My sister said it's like a puzzle and she loves it. Like I said, she has her own web series, and I look at her and watch her some days in amazement because she's so particular. And I'm like, girl, just put it here or just do that. And she's like, no, it has to be right. It has to be. And I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. So yeah, clearly that is not for me to do, which is why I have people like Juliet and Craig and others, because clearly that is not for Tonia. Does anybody else have any questions? We just had Shauna just join. Hey, Shauna. So Shauna she's acting. She's done film. She's done plays. She's done a lot of that stuff too. So we have a very creative group that's joined tonight, which I'm so glad for, to be able to talk with you and share, and learn from you. Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Joy? Shauna, you're catching up. We're talking with Joy Daniels. She's a videographer and video editor here locally in the Augusta area, but of course she can do it from anywhere, do anything. So yeah.
No questions. Good evening, everyone. I'm rushing to get on.
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for joining. Stacey, you had a question?
No, I don't have a question, but Joy, me and you need to talk ASAP.
Me? Oh, I thought you said you need to talk. I was like, I need to say what? But yes, we do need to connect. We need
to coordinate.
Yes. Definitely.
Joy, I would like to say congratulations to you. I am truly, even though I've never met you, as an educator, I am truly proud of you to make such strides, to be so young. And kudos to you. You're beautiful, and I can tell your spirit is beautiful. And so I say, go get them, girl. We're proud of you, and we're just cheering you on in the background. So but what high school did you go to here in Augusta?
I went to, well, first of all, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. I went to Evans High School. So, and I went to Evans Middle School and Bel Air Elementary, which is no longer. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, truly, Augusta is proud of you. But I was like, she had to be out in Evans. That's why I hadn't seen her. But congratulations to you. I'm super proud of you. And I know all the sisters on here are like, yes, baby girl. Proud of you.
Thank you so much. Y'all are the sweetest. I can't.
There's also a question. Have you done any music videos?
Oh, that's from Lester. Hey, Lester. How you doing? We were just talking about you. But no, I have not done any music videos. Not yet, so.
Right, you said keyword, not yet. Not yet. That I can't, but I just haven't yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Always something to strive for, always, doing new things, getting more skills, different opportunities. So yeah, I'm quite sure it'll come. It'll come. And I know for me, thinking about the editing piece, because when I think about the work that people have to put into, somebody else has created it, and now you have to go in and edit it. Like, I know that can probably be frustrating, because are you always a part of the creative part when you edit, or do you sometimes just get raw footage that you have to edit that you weren't a part of?
I've been a part of both processes. Sometimes I have received raw footage. I'm actually editing a short film for a friend, and he shot all of that, and he's giving me all the notes for it. I'm just like, okay, so I gotta just start from whatever, But I've been through both. I've shot my own stuff and done it that way, but I've also gotten raw footage from other people and done that. So.
And that's probably interesting too, because then you're actually being more creative, it seems like, because you're having to make sure that it makes sense. You're having to make sure that the story is connected, that, people will get it, and, it's a good product at the end of the day. So I can only imagine having to do that on a project that you weren't a part of. and having to figure out the pieces like from other people's notes, like are they handwritten, and you got to figure out, like some men write chicken scratch, so you can't really read. So
I'm about to say I can't talk because I have chicken scratch handwriting too. So I'm just like, that's the generation who uses computers. Sorry, y'all. Like, sorry. It kind of, but yeah, I've had to sometimes it is difficult sometimes because it's like sometimes they'll shoot something and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it either. But I guess I'll make it make sense. So like, I don't know.
Make it make sense, right? Not really sure where you were going with that, but yeah, let me try to add something in here to help you out.
Right. Or yeah. What, Juliet, did you say something? I thought I heard something. But
I did
anyway,
too.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had to deal with that and to deal with because not everyone shoots differently, and so someone's skill level may be a little bit different from yours. I've gotten some shaky footage and I got to figure that out. I got to figure that out for me. And I'm like, okay.
That should be the fun part about collaborating, though, Joy.
Right.
Yeah.
Collaborating to help put the pieces together.
The ideas, throwing the ideas together, that's what makes the whole piece what it is.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's a good point. And so I see a lot now, there's a commercial with the iPhone, I guess the new one, and people are shooting movies with the iPhone. Like, how realistic is that? And is it good quality?
I think honestly, listen, I don't know. It's half and half because have I filmed stuff with my iPhone before? Yes, it's 4K quality. So it's pretty good, but there are certain things like that a DSLR, like an actual like camera with the lens you can attach, where it's going to give you a little bit more control. I mean, now they have more programs. Like I haven't kept up with the latest iPhone that has come out now. Like I know of the recent ones that have come out, but like the most recent one, they change them all the time. So I'm kind of like trying to keep up with that one, but it's pretty good. I've heard of like studios filming for, because when they're in like a movie set, they're filming with several different cameras. They're filming for, the regular, like, red camera that it's just for regular cinematic experience. But then they also have the IMAX for the IMAX experience camera. But then also too, they film with iPhone, which I'm like, I don't even know why, but whatever y'all got to do. I don't know who you trying to, I don't know, but I think it can be done, and that's also too a tool for a lot of people who they want to get started in videography or video editing, and they're like, I don't have money for like a $5,000 camera.
Right.
But a lot of these cameras are actually pretty good. Like a lot of these cameras are 4K, which is pretty standard video quality. So it's just you might miss certain features, but you can work around that. You can find a way to work around it. So.
Okay, and that's good to know. I was working with a friend of mine who. He, and again, I'm surrounded by men that push me and that pour into me and that support me in the work that I'm doing. He's taken a class with Full Sail University, and part of it is putting together commercials and literally playing out the whole day. Like, how many people did you hire? Do take this, and like, it's very detailed. And so he says, well, you'll be my client. I'll film a commercial for you. And so he was, he's been following me around, coming to the clubhouse to get footage in different places. And he was talking, a guy approached him, was like, is that camera is so big, it's so bulky, but he showed him like really when you break it down, it's really small. It's just the pieces, the attachments that go to it. So you have a boom mic and you have this and you have that. So, and then to carry all around that equipment and lighting and, it's a lot of work. Like that's some heavy stuff, like, and to be a female doing this in this industry. And I guess, I look at it from a perspective, sometimes men may not appreciate a woman doing those types of things because they may feel like, this isn't for you because it's heavy or because it's this, but to see you actually saying, hey, it doesn't matter what it takes, I'm going to do it because this is what I'm passionate about. So you're an example. And I think a lot of us older women on the line, we've probably taken some chances that we probably wouldn't have, because it was our passion. But at your age and at your level, I can just see it going so far. But I also see there's an opportunity to reach back to the other younger generation to say, hey, I did this and you can do this too. Because a lot of times our girls, they can't be what they can't see. And that goes for anyone, our boys as well. A man or a woman cannot be what they cannot see. So if all they see is, and I hate to say it, like the video vixens and things of that nature, that's what they think they only can do. But it's like, no, we have women out here doing amazing things in fields that are generally not made for women. And so to see you breaking a barrier, to see you overcoming challenges and obstacles, what have been some of the most challenging things that you faced in this business, in this industry, since you've been doing this?
Yeah, I'd like to pick off of what you said before about the whole, like, yeah, it's heavy and stuff like that. I also had experience working at school, at the university, because I had to, know these lights and know these cameras and carry stuff around like all the time. So it's mostly experience too, and that, I guess that's the big problem, is that it's lack of experience when it comes to just knowledge of stuff. I've had to, do a lot of research on my own for like certain things, like just to find out certain industry standards and stuff, because even the university, it couldn't teach me everything. You got to have some experience somewhere, and then you're in Augusta, you're not in Atlanta versus so you would get more experience in these bigger cities than you would in Augusta. So it's more just like gaining experience and like, keep making sure those skills are sharp. So I think that would be kind of the biggest frustration, is just the I hate to say it, but the lack of opportunities. I mean, there are opportunities when you find them, but you have to find them. Like, you really have to find them and fight for them, so.
Yeah, and that's true. You think about, a lot of people want you to come with experience, but how do I get experience if people don't have me on to get experience, So it's kind of like hurdle after hurdle. But like you said, you're digging, you're finding, you're researching, you're fighting for what you want. And I think that's a woman thing. At the end of the day, if we really want something, we're going to figure out a way to get it. We're going to figure out a way to do it. We're going to figure out a way to be it. That's just the nature of a woman that's driven, because all women aren't. But I think when you have that drive and that passion and that capacity to say, hey, I'm going to learn all I can learn. I'm going to find opportunities. I'm going to make my face known, my voice heard, and to keep pushing in that direction, no matter what the challenges. Yeah, there may not be experiences, but all it takes is one connection. Right people, right place, right time. That's all it takes. And so that's why I'm a big proponent of doing things like this, because I like connecting people. I like making sure that I'm able to help more than just one person. Like, it's not just about me. It's about, okay, who can I help today? Who can I serve today? Who can I connect today? Because at the end of the day, we're all one connection away from our dreams. We're all one connection away from success, but it really takes us making sure that, one, we're doing things for the right reason, but also when you get somewhere, bring somebody else along with you. It doesn't hurt to share. There's enough space and room and opportunity for all of us. And so each one reach one. I know that seems like so cliches, but it's so real. Like, that's how I am where I am, because somebody gave me an opportunity. Somebody said, hey, I'll take a chance on Tonia. And so now as I grow, I'm bringing others along with me, opening doors, making sure that I clear the path for those that are coming behind me. So I think that's so awesome, as you can say, hey, I'm going to do all this groundwork and footwork. Yeah, I put a lot of sweat, blood, and tears in it. But it's okay for me to bring the next along. They may not have to do as much as I did, because I've cleared the path a little bit.
Right. That is so true, especially in like these creative fields where it's already there's so much competition anyway. Like, everyone's vying for this one job, and it's so stressful. And even, you can be the most creative person and be the right fit for the job, but someone else may get it, and it doesn't, it doesn't matter. But, like, that's why it is important to make it easier for the next generation. Because who likes to sit by and be like, I love seeing you struggle. It's nice. Like, who does this,
Right.
I don't like struggling. I don't like to see other people struggling. Right. So there's no need. There's no need.
Right. That's awesome. I love it. Does anybody have anything they want to add? Share for, okay, from a man's perspective, Joy knows what she's doing. She is doing very talented. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, yay.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. And we appreciate that. We appreciate that from a man's perspective, because it takes you guys to help us as well. It's not just a woman thing. It's, we need the support of the men as well, even in the industry, outside of the industry, opening doors, making sure that they pave the way as well, because it is a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. So I appreciate, him saying that means a lot. Because a lot of times men can say, just be dismissive or not, bringing us in. But for him to say, hey, from my perspective, you basically got it going on, girl. So that's awesome.
I appreciate that so much, Lester. I've already talked about him. I can't go on. I have no words. I have no words. Just thank you.
That's awesome. Stacey, do you want to share anything, or you or Shauna, from that industry perspective?
With me, having been on a big budget TV show and then an extra in a couple of things, it was eye-opening how many people behind the scenes it takes to get a product out there. And I think so many times, even if we don't like something, I have a greater appreciation now for how much work it went into it. It could be a B movie, a C movie, those little bootleg videos you get on the street, whatever. But it still took a lot of effort to create whatever that content is. And so I think, a higher respect for not even just movies or TV, but documentaries, videos, because I learned, and I don't know what it is, but it's a minute a page when you're writing. And so being the writer and the director and the creator and the this and that and the other, I'm just like, bless America. No wonder there's literally specific roles for each part of the process. There's a person that deals specifically with shrubbery. What? But you have to, because there's so much going on. And so I'm just impressed that as young as you are, you're crushing it. I'm like, you just do the darn thing, ma'am. And we still got to collaborate. That's all.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. A connection that's definitely going to stick, Stacey. Yes.
May I just say, and this is Shauna, I could put the camera on, but I'm not.
You don't have to explain. You're good.
But listen to you all speak, and sorry I wasn't here for the beginning and for some of what was said. I just believe God, and I look forward to the future where you all are hosting these events for girls to recognize that what they have is talent and how to put it to use and let it work for them. One of the things I think about, one of the things that spoke to my spirit when the most recent shooting at the Augusta Mall, and I noticed that there was video footage of it. And I told someone, I said, somebody would probably say that girl was crazy for recording that video, or she should get out of here, blah, blah. But nobody's going to sit there and say to her video journalism or, videography future, things like that, because those are the people that you need, those people that aren't scared to go into the war-torn areas, get the footage, get the story. And she did it, above that level. But I said, somebody needs to talk to these children instead of just saying, oh, you're crazy for doing this, or why you doing that. If you would have told me my little made-up dances I did in the kitchen back in the day could cause me to be a millionaire now, I feel like I made some mistakes. Here I go going to get education. But those things, but sitting there and talking to those girls and feeding into them and saying, you're doing this right here. The time it takes to make those time-elapse TikTok videos, that is not an easy feat. And the patience that they have to do, and it's one of those, you need to understand that that's a business that can take you beyond these young years. And I look forward to when you have the opportunity to speak and sow into them and do that. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Oh, no. Thank you. I agree with everything. I mean, like, for example, too, where would we be without the video of, like, George Floyd, of his murder? Where would we be without any of
exactly what I was getting ready to say. Whoa.
Videos. We would be videos have changed, like everything. They've changed it, like, so we need people out there to record the truth, like, record everything that's going on. Like, literally, you gotta get it. So, yeah, without those videos, the world would be very different, without them. So.
And it takes courage to do that, because to even hear that young lady that recorded, she said she was recording that whole George Floyd, that whole debacle in tears, and then to have people criticize her later on and say that she shouldn't have, and all the shoulda, couldas, wouldas, but it took so much courage. And I'm so glad that, Shauna, you said that, because that was one of the things that I was thinking. It's taking a lot of courage for Joy to do what she's doing, and as she branches out, she's going to need a whole bunch of other support and folks in the background continuously pushing her and cheering her on, because I think of, the mean-spirited things that people can say. And even recently, I was looking at the news this morning or this afternoon, and about how that young man was tased. And someone was saying something online about, they weren't helping, they were just filming, but that film was a help. And it's helped toward conviction. So keep doing what you're doing. And I completely reiterate Shauna's views on that. So yes, that courage, you're going to need a lot of courage, and we're praying for you.
Thank you. And I agree with everything you said, but definitely.
That's awesome. I love it. I love the women sharing. I love the support. I love the encouragement and the realistic views from us saying, hey, we know this is not an easy journey. We know this is, even though it's your passion and it could be something you love, but it could also be something that's challenging, and that, at some point you may like, why did I do this? But I think we all have a purpose, and we know the plan that God has for us. And no matter what the challenges are, there's always going to be somebody there to say, hey, you know what, you can do it, you can make it, don't give up, don't stop. And I think if we had more of that, we'd have less of the issues that we have today. I look at what's going on in the nation. I look at what's going on in our communities, in our homes, in our schools. I mean, we're having tons of school shootings now. And it's just like, people, what's the problem? So I know Juliet has an event coming up. Juliet, can you talk about Shoot Film Not Guns to the audience?
Yes. And Joy, I would actually like for you to speak to the kids when they come, if you don't mind.
Okay. Wow. Oh my goodness.
So I'm asking you now. But yeah, it's a program called Shoot Film Not Guns, and it's to kind of get kids more excited to shoot more positive things instead of people fighting in the streets and all of that. Even though, like you said, if the girl wasn't there, to film George Floyd, we wouldn't have it. But also at the same time, some kids are just out there doing a little silly stuff with their phones, and they could be doing something more constructive. If you are a news anchor, usually there's security somewhere for you. So when you just kind of take it upon yourself to shoot these videos in these dangerous situations, you might want to think twice, or at least be aware of your surroundings while you're filming. So anyway, it's going to be on November the 20th at the Purpose Center. On Olive Road. We're gonna have like guest speakers, and now Joy is one. But I don't know. Tonia, did Craig tell you a little more about it too? Because we have a commercial running for it.
He has not yet. No.
Okay. All right. Well, see, he's on the other end of things, and he may know some things that I don't know yet because they're putting it all together. I'm just, I'm on the board. Just, I'll ask people to speak and stuff like that. So.
But talk about the organization that you're partnering with, and how that came to be, and the purpose of it, like you said.
The purpose of, this organization is the American Youth Film Festival. I met them at the Capitol in Atlanta about 2 or 3 years ago. See, COVID. So it was 2019. So I met them in 2019, and their initiative is just to assist kid filmmakers, whether they're in elementary school all the way to college. And they have an award ceremony every June of each year. And they, it's like I said, it's just for the youth.
And it's a good thing that it'll be here in Augusta. So if you guys have any youth that may be interested, make sure, send me some information and I'll get it to the right channels and get it to the right people, because our young people need to see this. They need the opportunity. They need the exposure. Right. And this is something that's going to drive them in a positive way. How can you use this thing that we use, our phones, for good? How can you use it to make yourself some money the right way? How can you use it to build a legacy? And so if we could just, channel that energy into something positive, that's what it's about. So I'm excited that that's going to be here in our city. And anytime we have an opportunity to bring something like that to the city, me, I'm all in. So whatever I can do to help.
It took 3 years to get them to come. So I'm glad that it's
right. So November, the Purpose Center is at the corner of Olive Road and Eagle Way, which is right down the street from Josie. And so it's going to be, is it a free event or is it a cost?
This is a free event and we are in the process of getting sponsors right now. So yes.
Okay. So that's awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Juliet. No Joy, is there anything you want to share with the ladies before we wrap up?
Oh, I'd just like to express my thanks for all the encouraging words. Definitely, we all, especially in this industry, having a support group and having people cheer you on is definitely it's rare to see sometimes, unfortunately, but I greatly appreciate it because it's always great to have. So this is a great conversation. I really enjoyed a lot of the perspectives as well.
Can you put your contact information for people that may want to reach out to you in the chat box?
Yes, I will.
So for those of you that said you want to connect, she's going to put her information into the chat box. So make sure you grab that and reach out to Joy. It's always good to connect good people. Taronda says she prays for you. Much success. God bless you. Sending lots of prayers from Missouri.
Okay, I'm just going to send my email.
Okay.
Okay, it's in the chat.
All right, so her email is in the chat. And I appreciate each and every one of you. We have people from Missouri on. My cousin is on. Thank you, Mr. Lester, for joining us, group of women, and giving your perspective. Is there anything you would like to share, Mr. Lowry, while you're on?
I'd just like to say that Joy, again, is very talented, and she just has no idea how far she can go. Just needs to, I guess, decide where she wants to go, what area or arena she wants to pursue. And the sky's the limit for her. And I've enjoyed working with her and hopefully plan on working with her in the near future on not just on the project that we've been working on in the past month or two, but hopefully in other projects down the road.
Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. Tuesday Talks with Tonia. We have men join us from time to time, so it's always awesome to have them chime in and share their perspectives and continue to support us in the efforts that we're doing. Again, that's what we're about. We're about empowering, educating, helping the next one, building the next one. And so any opportunity we get to share, to bring people together, to coalesce around a certain subject, around a certain project, that's what Tuesday Talks is all about. All of these ladies that are on now. So is that Felicia Trey joining us? He had to get in on the conversation. Is that you, Mr. Williams? Trey.
Yep.
So it's so funny. I was talking about you earlier about, you filming me for the commercial and things of that nature. I said, oh, Trey must want to get in on this conversation since he's doing some of that work. So Joy Daniels, this is Mr. John Trey Williams. And again, he has his own printing company, but he likes the writing side of things. But for his class, he had to do the commercial. Tell him what you had to do, Trey.
Too much stuff I don't like doing. I had to do everything. The cinematography, I had to do the editing, the color correction, color grading, write the script, book the talent. So that was too much. I didn't enjoy it.
Well, maybe you can hire Joy or Juliet.
Yeah.
No, both of us, we're package deals. We're package deals.
We are package deals, of course. Always. The J&J team will never be broken. It never happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can write the script and just give it to y'all. That'll work.
That'll work.
We'll set up a meeting then.
I love it. I love it. I love how the connections happen because, like I said, everybody has their own dreams and their own desires and things that they're working toward. But there's always somebody that's either done it, doing it, or can show you how, or can connect with you. And so, I'm laughing that he joined because I was just talking about you and how you had to do my commercial and you were following me around and how the guy was asking me about the camera and all this stuff and this stuff that he really does not like to do. Like, he's like, yeah, I hate this part.
I understand. I get you.
But I appreciate him because he's one of my biggest supporters. And we have Mr. Lester from Mustard Seed on, Trey, and he was, speaking so highly of Joy. And I said, I have a circle of men that do the same for me. And so that's Trey, that's Chills, that's Craig Boogie, and my friend Rich Peoples out in Arizona. And so it's good to have that support from the men, saying, hey, I got you. Hey, you can do this. Hey, what can I do to help you? What can I do to uplift you, to support you? And anytime I call Trey, now I might have to call Felicia from time to time and say, hey, tell Trey to answer his phone. So his wife is on the line. So I may have to call her.
Don't do that.
But when I tell you, he always comes through. He does. So he's the one who created the flyer. He creates all of my Facebook covers and flyers for Tuesday Talks with Tonia. And I could call him the day before and he'd be like, really? But he'll do it. So I love him. And I owe him a lot. So thank you, Trey.
Together we watch.
Huh?
To the left watches the right.
Thank you, Trey.
All right, I'm going.
Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure. This has been an awesome conversation, awesome connections. I'm so happy, and I hope everybody reached out and got Joy's contact out of your chat.
Oh, I also, sorry to interrupt, I also am going to put my Squarespace that has some of my projects on there. And some of
what
my
is a Squarespace? Because I don't know what that is.
It's just a website, Use it as my portfolio, so.
Okay, I was like, I don't know what a Squarespace is, but okay. All right, let me make sure I write that down. Okay. So is there anything else, ladies? Anybody else have anything to share? This has been an amazing conversation. I'm so glad we had it. I'm so glad for the introduction, Juliet, to Joy. And Joy, thank you for being my guest on this evening. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have you back again. You'll be like, hey, I'm working on this big movie. Hey, I got this new piece that I'm working on. So I'm excited for you. I can see great things in your future, and I know you're going to do well no matter what you do, because I can feel it in your spirit, your passion for it. It's in your voice. It's all over you. So I think you're doing what you were meant to do.
Thank you so much. Y'all are the sweetest group of people I've ever met. It's just amazing. This conversation was absolutely amazing. It was great. I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Ladies, thank all of you guys for joining me tonight. Next week, remember, it is Fashion Tips Tuesday from the House of Style Boutique at 6:30. We'll go back to 6:30, and then we'll have another speaker the following week. So you ladies, have a good evening. Y'all stay safe, stay connected, and have a good day on purpose.